open. Grazing pressure, meaning how many animals you want to put per unit area. Height of cutting, how high you want to cut it. And fertilizer and weed control. Like Noain tadi, she allows the animal to graze freely in how big the area, I'm not very sure, around the village or in her own land, but I assume there are a bit of government land there, so the animal will go and graze freely. But one thing good is that the animal know where is their home. The animal come back to the home, to the area where they are fit with concentrate or uh, during this time of the year, even with the grasses. Okay. Basically, there are two types of pasture utilization. Mentioned earlier, one is cut and carry system, and the other is grazing system. In cut and carry system, it's just cut the grasses that you planted and bring back to the barn, to your kandang. Grazing system, there are two subtypes. One is you allow the animal just to graze freely in an open area. Or the other type is graze it in a rotating system. You have maybe 6 or 7 paddock, and each paddock can withstand grazing for about 1 week. So after 6 or 7 weeks, the animal come back to the first paddock again. So this is so the cut and carry system is you harvest the grasses and bring back to the feeding pen. Okay. And the system is practiced by smallholders, usually when they have small plot of land, because the system can cater for bigger number of animals as compared to grazing system. If you have cut and carry system, you can estimate how much the production is per hectare per year, and how many cattle can you keep, or how many sheep can you keep per unit area. I think I want to show you how to calculate the number of animals that you can keep for a year. For example, you grow Napier. Okay, Napier. How much Napier produce yield per hectare per year? Just remember, it's about 100 ton per hectare per year. Or if you convert it to kilogram, it's about 100 kilogram per hectare per year. Okay, if you want to give 2% body weight, 2% body weight of this is dry matter, okay? This is dry matter, dry weight. Okay. So 2% body weight means you are going to give about, if your, say you have a sheep, your sheep weighs the farmer want to give sheep which weighs about 40 kilogram each. So you want to give 2% body weight of grasses. So meaning you are going to give about 0.02 multiplied by 40 kilogram, which is equal to what, 0.8 kilogram per head per day. You following? So your dry weight is about 100,000, and one animal, this is one sheep, okay, require this amount. So you have how many? Okay, this is per day. So per year, how much required per year? Per year is 0.8 multiply with 365 days. So how much that goes to? My calculator kejap ah. Okay, this is about 0.8 multiplied by 365 is equal to 292 kilogram dry matter processed per year. So from here, use your mathematics. 1 year you have 100,000 kilogram. 1 day you need 292 kilogram. So how many sheep can you keep in that piece of 1 hectare? This is per hectare. Okay. It's quite simple now. Use mathematics. You have 100,000, okay, kilogram per year. So this you divide by, use the word divide by 292. So what's the answer like? 10,000, 200,000, okay, divide by 292. So you can keep 300 and, hope the answer is right, 342 sheep. Okay, I save this. So I repeat this, okay. If you have Napier of 100 ton per hectare per year, you want to calculate how many sheep you can get. Okay, how many sheep can you keep in your area, assuming the sheep body weight is 40 kilogram, and one sheep require 2% body weight, it's about 8 kilogram per head per day, and 1 year require about 292 kilogram. So since you have 100,000 kilogram per year, divide by 292, so the number of sheep you can keep per hectare of your Napier is 342 sheep. Okay, so this is a highly intensively managed Napier, but if you don't manage well, you cannot get this amount of biomass. So if you don't manage well, you can get probably about 30 ton or just 60 ton, 60, okay. So the number of head you can keep is lower. So in other words, how you manage your grasses under cut and carry system will determine how many animals that you can keep. So that's why for smallholders in this country, in Malaysia, we have small piece of land, so we can keep quite a number of sheep. But if cattle, then you have to you cannot keep as many as sheep here. Cattle you must calculate again. One cattle weight how much, and if one cattle require 2% body weight, how much one animal we need per day and per year, and we divide by the biomass of grass you can get. This is dry matter, okay? So how can you convert this to fresh weight? Normally, the dry matter content is about 25%, okay, depending on when you harvest. Is it in the morning or in the afternoon, or and then what stage of maturity? Is it early stage or late stage of maturity? So that influence the moisture content in the grasses. So back to your system, cut and carry system is practiced by smallholders and within small plot of land. It's about one one acre, 1/3 hectare to 2 hectare of land. In Ladang Pasir Aka, we have 50 acres, 50 acres or 20 hectare, 20 hectare of pasture land for our cattle and sheep. Imagine in Pasir Aka, we have about 55 head of cattle and about 450 head of sheep and goat. So, oh, before I forget, why you give only 2% body weight here? Why 2% body weight? We normally say one animal we need about 3% body weight, right? So the other 1% will come from the concentrate. Normally we give concentrate amounting about 1% body weight, and 2% body weight comes from your grasses. But of course, if you want to save on concentrate, you can reduce the concentrate and increase your grasses. So instead of giving 2% body weight of grasses, you can increase it 2.5%. And you can decrease your concentrate to 0.5%. Probably by now you should be able to calculate the return from investment when keeping cattle or goat. If you give 1% body weight of pellet of concentrate to your goat, 1% here is equivalent to 400 gram. Okay, 400 gram. 400 gram costs 40 cents. 1 kilogram costs 1 ringgit, I think, approximately. So 400 gram costs 40 cents. But if you give 500 gram, 500 gram costs 50 cents, and that 10 cents of difference. If you calculate per month basis, 10 cents times 30, 10 times 30, so is how much is it? 3 ringgit lah. 10 cents times 30. Put belakang, so is 3 ringgit, okay? So even though a 10 cent difference per head, it makes a difference of 3 ringgit per month. How much is it if you calculate it per year basis? 3 ringgit multiplied by 12 months. So it's 36 ringgit. A 10 cent difference per day can lead to 36 ringgit per head per year. That is only for one head of cattle. Oh, sorry, for one head of sheep or one sheep. Imagine you have 100 sheep, 336 times 106, 36 ringgit multiplied by 100 sheep. So you are going to spend 3,600 ringgit extra. Okay. Imagine just 10 cent or 0 or 0.5% body weight compared to 1% body weight of grasses that you give means a lot of money at the end of the day. So when you keep cattle or sheep or goat, you must be able to calculate your return to investment, how much you are going to save, or how much profit you are going to make just by changing the amount of feed given daily to your animal. Okay. You still remember how much feed should be given to lactating animals? It's not 3%, okay? For lactating animal, you must give about 4 or 5% body weight. If you want a lot of milk, then you give 6%, or sorry, 5%. If you want lesser milk, give 4%. But during dry period, give only 3%. So it depends on the physiological state of the animal. Or this remind childhood time when in those days, in the olden days, when you are still young, you go to school, but coming back from school, you go to the farm or to the area nearby to collect the grasses. This is what Shuko is doing. Shuko adik Norain. Just from Senate what? Senate 5, is it? Remember? Senate 5, but it's already taking care of big buffaloes. Senate 5 is just how many years old? 11. Or Form 1. Form 1 is 12 years old. KP1. So for cut and carry system, normally in this picture here, the children are collecting from the nearby areas. Okay, the cut and carry system is suitable for dairy cattle, feeding pregnant animal, new calf and sick animal. But now in Malaysia, we are using it for intensive system, feedlot, we call it feedlot system, whereby the animal are kept in the pen throughout their life. They were never allowed to go out, and when the time comes, they were slaughtered. Okay? So slaughtering time depends. It can be 1.5 years or 2 years for cattle. But for goat and sheep, it can be as early as 5 months or 1 year. But for hakikah, for goat, you need 2 years, right? For sheep is 12 months. So the hakikah age for goat and sheep is different. For goat, you need 2.5 years, but for sheep, you need 1 year. So that's why recently in Ladang Pasialka, the demand for sheep now is very high. People is changing now from keeping goat to sheep. Because when we have the hair sheep, the hair sheep bred, meaning there is no wool, not much wool, the sheep looks better. it's more, it's cute, it's beautiful. So maybe the appetite increase when you see the sheep. So people are coming for the breed that we have, such that now we don't have any stock. Every day people come, the villagers come, the nearby people come and ask for young sheep. They want to keep, not slaughter. They want to breed. So it's changing now, probably because the Hakikah age is shorter than sheep, and then it can be slaughtered. The average daily weight gain is very high, can go about 200 grams per day, and then the appearance probably is good because the hair is very thin, just look like a small calf, macam anak lembu. So that's why. Okay, back to the, yeah, I've got this picture from the internet. Ladies can do this job as well, not just men. In Africa, so on the cut and carry system, the cutting height is very important. For Napier grass, it should be about 15 cm from the ground level. But Lucina, remember Lucina is that patai belalang. Okay, patai belalang you cut it at the height of 50 to 100 centimeter. Patai belalang is a tree, it's not grass. Okay, it contains very high protein because it's a legume, and you can give up to 30% of the feed per day. You cannot give more than that because it contains the toxin mimosin. Mimosin, if given more than 30% of the diet, it can poison the animal. Same thing like that grass I mentioned last week, Bracharia decumbent. Remember? Bracharia decumbent contain toxin, so you cannot give much to your sheep and goat, but it's okay for the cow because of the toxin contained in the grasses. But don't use that as the toxic plant in your herbarium. And Napier grass and Guinea grass. This is Napier grass, Peniston properum, and Panicum is Guinea grass or rumput kuda. Suitable for cut and carry system. But now even humidicola, people are using it as a cut and carry system. But humidicola can be used both for cut and carry system or grazing system or open grazing system. So one of the character for cut and carry system is they have erect stem and very fast growing. Of course, it's perennial. Erect stem and tall tree. Like Napier, it can go as high as 2 meter high. Panicum, the Guinea grass can go as high as 1.5 meter high. So it's very easy to cut. But for humidicola, it's just less than 1 meter high. So, and it will not go erect, see, it will fall down. So it's not that easy to cut. But if you cut it regularly at young age, yes, when the stem is still upright, then you can still cut it quite easily using the bush cutter. Okay. Cut and carry system. Okay, for cut and carry system, the fertilizer rate must be very high. For this case is, for example, Napier grass and system require as high as the production of, I mentioned just now, 100 ton per hectare per year dry matter. Require about, say here, about 800 kilogram of nitrogen. 252 kilogram P and 700. So if you round this figure up, require about 900 kilogram of N or 250 P and maybe about 800 kilogram of potassium fertilizer. If you translate this to number of bag, so it can means 880 divided by 16, so 1000. It can mean about 30 bags of fertilizer, 30 bags of complete fertilizer NPK per hectare per year. It's a lot of money there. Okay. So that's why when the requirement of fertilizer is very high, normally we pump the feces, the dung from your farm back to the pasture land so that it can improve the soil fertility, it can supply the nutrients required by the grasses. So attention, frequency of harvest and fertilization sustain. Yeah. The frequency of harvest will depend on the size of the plant or the supply. When the supply is very low, you may have to harvest more frequent. For example, during drought season, the grasses are not growing very well due to lack of water. So you need more grasses. So the frequency is higher. So it depends on your management. If you need more grasses during difficult period, during adverse weather period, then you must give more fertilizer when the rainfall is okay, or you have to irrigate. Or alternatively, when you have a lot of grasses, you must preserve the grasses in the form of silage. Maybe next lecture or next 2 lectures, I'm going to tell you how to make silage. When you have a lot of grasses, surplus grasses, prepare silage. The silage can be kept for as long as 1 or even 2 years if properly maintained. The silage must be kept in anaerobic condition and is airtight, meaning, and do not open the container unless you want to use it. And once open, you must use it all within 1 or 2 days. Okay, this is feed lotting system. The animal are kept in barn, in paddock, in confined area. So the system here is cut and carry system. Okay, the grazing system. Just now we talk about cut and carry system. Now it's grazing system. When you allow the animal to graze on the grasses, you are not cutting the grasses, but the animal will cut the grasses. So it's cheaper. The labor cost is cheaper, but the problem is you need big land area because when animals step on it, so it must be persistent. The grasses must be able to withstand the animal stepping on it, and the grazing pressure here meaning how many animals you can keep per unit area per unit time. So you must ensure that after the animal graze on the pasture, the regrowth of pasture is maintained. If you do too intensive grazing, for example, you keep the animal there for too long, you keep the animal per unit area for too long, or you have too many animals per unit area, so you are giving a very high grazing pressure. and that high grazing pressure will disturb the regrowth of your pasture. So here, the pasture height maintain about 10 to 15 cm above the ground. Don't let the animal eat close to the ground, at the ground level, until the regrowth is very poor. The pasture need to have a bit of food reserve in the stem for regrowth. So that's why we need about 10 to 15 cm stump. So after the animal graze, that 10 to 15 cm above the ground will serve as food reserve for the grass to regrow again. If you cut too low down, the rate of regrowth is going to be slower. So this is type of grazing that you have. It can be continuous or rotational. One is continuous, the other is rotational. Okay. Continuous or rotational. So for continuous grazing is appropriate for large scale paddock. Yeah, big area. For example, in Australia or in America, they have very big area. So they just put in the animal and allow the animal to graze. So the stocking rate is so low that it did not affect the regrowth of grasses. The grasses are in surplus amount compared to the number of animals they keep. So this is a very cheap system. That's why when we buy imported meat from Australia or overseas, the cost is very cheap because they allow the animal to graze on the grasses. So there is very minimum cost. Okay, very minimum cost. The cost of fertilizer is not there. The cost of cut and carry is not there. This matter of herding the animal back to your paddock and catch the animal and slaughter it. But in our country, we don't normally practice continuous. We practice rotational grazing. Even this is practiced by only big farms. They construct paddock, as mentioned, about 6 or 7 paddock, and it's rotated in this paddock. One paddock, in one paddock, it can last for about, say, 1 week, and then after 1 week, move to the paddock, and then after 1 week, paddock. So after the 6 or 7 week, it come back to the first paddock. Where are the paddock? This is an example. How many paddock here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 paddock here. And here is a animal holding area. So there must be access from one paddock to another. For example, from paddock 1 to paddock 2, come out to the gate here and then come here, and you might close this gate and allow it enter this gate, this paddock here. After 1 week, so bring the animal out, close this gate, open this gate, so the animal will go to this paddock. After that, close this gate, open this gate, so animal will move out from paddock 3 to paddock 4, and so on. So by closing one entrance here, you can regulate the passage of the animal from one paddock to another. Here, come here, and here, come back here again. So when you want to slaughter the animal, you can bring the animal here. Okay. So what the requirement you can see here? You need the fencing. Okay, the fencing all the place. and the paddock fencing, and of course you also need the water trough inside here, the feed trough inside here, so that the animal can drink the water freely. So this is a picture of grazing, maybe continuous or maybe rotational. But compare to cut and carry, remember cut and carry in the shoulders, okay, equal. So this is overseas mainly. You see the fencing, and here very big area. In Malaysia, we can't afford this big area. Okay, ada lagi lah. Banyak gambar. Oh, kenyang. Look at the body score. Seems like thin is very big. So very healthy because of the lot of grasses. So in the rotational grazing, I mentioned earlier, livestock are moved from one paddock to another for a certain period of time. Normally around 6 to 8 week interval. Oh, this is normally it's only about 1 week interval. Actually, 1 week interval. 1 week. And so after 6 to 8 weeks, we'll go back to the initial. Go back to the initial paddock. And turn back to the first paddock to allow for pasture regrowth. So normally we have fences, and the fences nowadays we use electric fence because it's cheap and easy to assemble. Okay, and yeah, paddock. So here you can see we have one paddock here. This is the road, and so probably the previous week they were grazing in this paddock here, and next week they might be shifted to this paddock or this paddock. Sheep. Okay. I'll say in the green system, the amount of fertilizer can be reduced. Why reduced? Because the amount of excreta, the dung that they remove, is a lot. This is I got the data from a system. 630 kilogram cow. 630 is very big. Normally, the average size of our cow is about 400 kilogram. Okay, so this is for 630 kilogram, and the intake, diameter intake is about 18 kilogram a day, and they excrete about 56 kilogram of dung. This is wet basis because they drink about probably 80 liters of water a day. So 80 liter plus 18, so a lot of liquid inside the body, plus the urine. So they excreted a lot of dung, which can serve as fertilizer. This is in the data for smaller animal. They can excrete about 10 kilogram. Now here is 56 kilogram for bigger animal. This is smaller animal. But here I want to indicate the amount of urine from such a size of cattle. When they excrete about 10 kilogram, the urine, the amount of urine excreted is about 5 liter. So make sure you have plenty of water. And okay, you can see here that an average cow can excrete about 10 ton of dung. Okay, 10 ton on wet weight basis. per year. And this contain about 71 kilogram nitrogen, 18 kilogram phosphorus, and 58 kilogram potassium per head per year. So the return to the soil is higher. The return of fertilizer to the soil is higher, which means you need not fertilize as much as cut and carry system. So this system is more beneficial, more benefit, more profitable as compared to the cut and carry system. But the problem is, again, I mentioned earlier, the land space. Okay, and here they say the distribution of dung is scattered and not uniformly distributed. It's all right. This is not a serious problem. Just just a note here. So you can imagine the return of dung and urine is about 80%. 80% consumed is returned back to the soil. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, the microbial content is very high in the intestine. So the excreta contain a lot of microbes as well. So the work of microbes actually contributed a lot to the nutrient content of your dung. Okay, not much left here. So this is the grazing system. Oh, that's all for today. So any question about grazing system? So do you know how to calculate how many animals that you can keep from one piece of land? Because this is a very common question asked by beginners. He has 1 hectare of land. If I want to keep cattle, how many can I keep? If I want to keep goat or sheep, how many goat or sheep can I keep? Of course, the answer is quite subjective. It depends on the intensity of management of your grasses. Are you going to fertilize it well or not? It depends on the species of grasses. Are you going to grow Napier, Guinea, or Umbilicola? Because the production are different. And then, are you going to keep for meat or for milk, daging atau susu? Because if you want to keep for milk, then you need to give more grasses, okay? And you need to fertilize the grasses with more nitrogen so that the protein content of the grasses is higher. So it's very subjective. So you want to keep just, or some people, they do semi-intensive system. Sometimes they allow the animal to graze. Sometimes they bring back the grasses to your paddock. Okay, now JPV have a program whereby they grow grasses in the JPV land area, quite a big area, can be up to 50 acres of land. And the farmers can go and cut the grasses and bring back to their animal. So in this system, Jabatan Veteriner JPV is encouraging the villagers to have a small semi-intensive system whereby they can get the grasses from JPV grass farm and bring that to their animal. But the problem here, the social problem here, is that the mentality of the orang kampung, they just go and harvest the grasses, but they do not fertilize. Of course, JPV will not do the fertilization because that's extra cost. So the system is such that the farmer must be given allotted area. They allocate this area of land is for this and this person. So not everybody can go and freely take the grasses from any area. Okay, so that system is quite good in the sense that even though we don't have any land, we can keep goats or cattle. Okay, so far, how many you have any question? The final is coming very soon. Dr. Yati, when is the final?
Jadual belum keluar tapi bulan 2.
Bulan 2. Toward the end or early?
Early February.
Early February. Oh, okay. So just about one more month to go. Sebulan lagi. Okay. So, okay. Ada soalan apa-apa? Kalau tak ada, kita berhenti dulu. Sambung lagi minggu depan. Okey. Terima kasih semua.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof.
Okey.